Greetings, everyone, and welcome to
Hey, greetings. Can
this.
you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you definitely.
Oh, okay, I was just
Can
messaging
you
you.
hear me?
Yes, it's like a little echo.
Oh, yeah, it is an echo. Wow. Let me see. Okay, yeah, let's make sure we mute everything. Welcome to Real Talk with ZSJ. I am your host, Sister Zakia. I am excited to welcome Brother Taye Uhuru this week, and I thought about you, Brother Taye. You and I had were actually connected through a mutual friend on Facebook from in Cleveland, and you reached out to me a while ago trying to get this going. But I'll tell you what made me remember because I actually forgot. So don't charge it to my heart. But
No, it's
what
all
made me
good.
remember what made me remember was Stevie Wonder. Remember, Stevie Wonder was like, I'm moving to Ghana. You know, remember like that was all in the news last week. And I was like,
Yeah.
man, we got to do a show on this. So for everybody that's watching, make sure you go ahead on and hit the like button. Make sure you hit the share. Let's jump into the comments. Let everybody know how you're doing. And let's just get this conversation started. So, Brother Taye, why don't you start off by telling the audience a little bit about yourself and a little bit more about the work you do?
Okay, yeah, I'm Taye Uhuru. A lot of people know me on social media as Camp Cleveland, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I'm a historian, an author, a musician, and a world traveler. I visited almost 70 countries around the world and about 20 countries in Africa so far.
Bruh, like that's yeah, that like I'm ready to just go down the rabbit hole right now because my next question, as you already know, is like, you look kind of young, right? Like, what inspired you? When did you take your first trip? And like, what about like the world that like really like attracted you and was like, you know what? I'm going to Africa. I just want to go, right? Like, what was the impetus that kind of got you to travel to all these different countries? That's amazing. You're very unique.
Thank you. I really appreciate you. And thank you for even allowing me on your platform. I really
Absolutely.
appreciate what you're doing too. Um, I started traveling when I was young. My mom, she used to drive the RTA and the Greyhound. So she used to snatch us up and take us to New York and Chicago and Cincinnati, a few cities that was around the way. But I started traveling internationally in 2010. And that's when I
Wow.
got my passport. So from 2010 till now, that's when I've been going international with it. I always admired African people. You know what I'm saying? When I was young, my grandmother, she told me that we were Africans, and
That's right.
her father was a member of the UNIA. He was a follower of Marcus Garvey, and she told me about the parades when they was walking through Central and 40th. So I kind of got that at an early age. So I looked at black people, on a global perspective. I didn't, understand it all at that time, but that's
Right.
kind of where it started. My mom, she gave me my first Black History book, Black History
Right.
from A to Z, so I
Right.
always loved Black people, Black history, and,
That's amazing. That's absolutely amazing. What was your first trip? What was your first destination?
out the country.
Yeah.
Oh, the first time I traveled, I went to Europe. I went to Amsterdam. I knew some people, but they was from South America. You know what I'm saying? So they had invited me out, and I went out there. I had a great time, great hospitality. And Amsterdam, it's a cool place. It's a unique
You went
place.
by
Like,
yourself?
yeah, most of the time I travel, I go by myself. Yeah.
Wow. I be, I'm crazy like that. I have been afraid to travel outside of the country, outside of like Mexico and like Puerto Rico and Jamaica. Like I haven't been like way over. Like I haven't been to Europe or anything like that
Okay.
yet. But like I've been to Canada, like, around North America, Central America and stuff like that. But like to the extent that like going to Europe, when you watch movies like Hostel, as a woman,
Taken.
you and taking this shit. Like, I'm not just going to no damn foreign country and I'm a regular person and I'm black. The United States Department ain't doing shit to get me back home if I get straight. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think like
Right.
that. Like I gotta go like with some people that I love and people that I know, and plus the language barrier, right? One of the things that
Definitely.
my husband always tells me, and that's like even just traveling in the United States, like because I traveled before COVID, I traveled a lot for work, like all over the country. Like I've been to almost all the states, right? And my husband always teach me, he was like, all right, now when you outside, don't be looking all up and doing all like this, because you go let people know that you ain't from there.
Right, I've
And
heard that before.
right, because he was like telling me, like how to defend myself and stay safe and
Mhm.
like, things like that. So like as a woman, for me, I'm just sharing with you, like I've been afraid to like travel that far alone. Like I'll do on a girl's trip, or like I see that you actually organize trips, right, to Africa.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm in a group, I'll do that. So let's talk about that. I know you wrote a book. There's just a lot like that I want to get out, right? So
Right, I
number one,
got time.
yeah, we got time, man. So like I appreciate you telling me about, the traveling and everything, but tell me more about you. So number one, you should know that I am also from Cleveland. Although I left when I was really young, I was born in Cleveland. I don't know if you remember, but St. Luke Hospital, that's actually the
I was
hospital.
born there too.
Wow. Yep.
Yeah, St. Luke's for
It
sure.
doesn't exist anymore. They closed it and tore it down.
Hmm.
And so anyway, I'm from Cleveland, still have a lot of family there. So Cleveland is close to me. In fact, my family and I, my husband and my children and I, we were just there over the holiday break in December because I have so much family there. My father still lives there. In fact, he's out in
Okay.
Bedford Heights. So
Okay.
how did you um, I guess what inspired you to write the book, and like why do you organize the trips that you organize to take more people to the continent? What's the connection for you?
Basically, the tours are to clear up a lot of misconceptions that African Americans and Americans in general have about Africa and African people. So, like you
Mm-hmm,
said, fear is usually the number one factor. We tend to
mm-hmm,
look at Africa as one place in general. But like you said, we live in North America. So, if you go to Mexico, you go to Haiti, you go to Jamaica, you go to Canada, those places are totally different. The language is different, the
true.
people look
Yeah,
different, the weather is different. So, Africa
true.
is far more 10 times more diverse than that.
Mm-hmm.
So the tours, I mean, I've taken middle school students, high school students, college students, elders, young adults, they're for everybody, you know.
That's amazing. How many do you usually take on the trips?
They mostly been small groups. So the smallest, I take one person, and the largest group we did Ghana in 2019 for the year of return. It was about 6 or 7 of us. We had a great time. With so many celebrities out there: Ti, Rick Ross, Michael Jai White. I think Luda, Jay-Z was out there. You know what I'm saying? Rick Ross. So it was just amazing. We had a great time. It's a life-changing experience. Each country is a totally different experience. So that's why I offer multiple countries. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's amazing. I actually I was watching on social media while everybody and their mama went to Ghana for the year of return. And I wanted to go and was unable to go. So I had to it was a little meme. Matter of fact, it was a meme going around at the time of like crying, like this me looking at all my friends in Ghana.
Oh
you know,
man, I need
right,
that
right,
one.
right, right. So tell me about the other countries that you've been to and some of the other. I just want to hear about the experience from from your perspective. Like you said, you do these tours to break down misconceptions about the continent, right? So tell
Yeah,
us, tell the
definitely.
audience a little bit more about like what you saw.
I mean, from the first trip to the last trip, Africa, you know what I'm saying, is just an amazing experience. I don't really have no horror stories or nothing negative to say about Africa. I mean, I could just
Oh
tell you
no, I'm
that
not
we had.
expecting that.
No, no, I
No, I
know,
want
but
us to
just for the
break down the
audience, right,
myths.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So, like, the first time I went to South Africa, that was my first trip to Africa. I seen Benzes, BMWs, I seen Bentleys and Range Rovers. I'm like, what? Because when I went, you know, uh, content and media wasn't as accessible as it
Which
is now.
country was this? You saw all the Benzes? That's probably Nigeria.
No, no, I went to South Africa the first time.
Oh, South Africa, just like America. I mean, you know their history.
But I'm just saying, as far as the tech, as far as technologically, I didn't expect to see these things because when I went almost a decade ago, it wasn't as many YouTubers and content and videos as it is now. So it was like trying
That's
to Google
true.
something about South Africa. It wasn't going to be nothing but destruction and rape and murder and disease. You know what I'm saying? So when I got there, I was seeing things for the first time. I didn't have too many YouTube videos to go off of. So that's what I seen. I seen very beautiful people, very friendly people. The food was good, some of the most beautiful beaches and landscapes and animals. I mean, it just wasn't an amazing experience. And it's like that all around the continent, not just South
Right.
Africa. But like you say, South Africa is probably the closest thing to America because they have
That's what
BT,
everybody tell me. They go
VH1,
over
and
there.
MTV. Yeah, they
Yep.
have all those channels and stuff. So they up on a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But it's nevertheless, it's Africa though. Don't get it twisted. It's
It
Africa.
is Africa because like once you go outside of like the cities and stuff, it gets more rural and things like that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
just obviously familiar with South
Yeah.
Africa through my friends' experience and obviously through
Mm-hmm.
history, through the struggle of, against apartheid and things like that. As you
Right.
know,
Mm-hmm.
I certainly have revolutionary politics. Have you been to Tanzania? That's the other place I've wanted to go.
No, I haven't been to Tanzania yet. I was supposed to go like 2 different times. I was supposed to do some speaking engagements and different things, but COVID happened. So when I do go back to the motherland, that's probably my first or second stop is Tanzania. I'll probably stay there for a little while too.
Yeah, I'd like to go to Tanzania. You said you've been to 20 countries. You've only told us about Ghana
Hmm.
and South Africa.
Right.
So
I said almost. I'm gonna tell. Let me see. I've been to South Africa. I've been to Botswana. I've been to Mozambique. I've been to Zimbabwe. I've been to
tell me about
Madagascar.
Mozambique.
Mozambique was real cool. Very beautiful beaches, very beautiful people. They speak Portuguese. They was colonized by Portugal. You know what I'm
Portugal.
saying? Yeah. So I was in Mozambique for about 2 weeks, and this was like right before COVID, so because the borders to South Africa was closed, and so I had to cut my trip short because I was living in South Africa. So I had an apartment in South Africa, so I had to take the bus
Oh,
back
wow. You
to
even lived on the
Johannesburg.
continent.
Oh yeah, I lived in South Africa. I lived in Brazil. I lived in the Dominican Republic. I was studying abroad.
Wow. How long did you live in South Africa?
Almost all of 2020. I got there in January and then I left like November. I made it back just in time for Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. So that's during COVID too. So like what were the
Yeah, yeah.
restrictions like and like did you have to do some special stuff to get back into the United States? Did they make it hard?
I think the thing was the borders was closed, but a lot of countries was closed. So it wasn't just South Africa. So everybody was kind of on the same, you know what I'm saying, the same way for real. But fortunately, the neighborhood that I was living in is an art district. I was in Johannesburg and I was living in Maboneng. So it's a very unique place because a lot of rappers, producers, singers, dancers, poets, photographers, and painters, they live in this neighborhood. So the dude next door to me, he rapped. The dude upstairs got a studio. The dude over here, he got a camera. So, I was still able to record music. I shot a music video despite, all of the madness that was going on around the world.
That's amazing. One of our commenters says Zambia is their favorite. Have you been to Zambia?
Oh, Zambia, no, because my goal was in 2020 was to reach 20 African countries. So I didn't get exactly to 20, but like I said, I've been to Madagascar, Seychelles, Comoros, Ethiopia,
Cameroon?
Egypt. No, not Cameroon. No, I've been to Morocco because
Okay.
it's almost 60. It's almost 60 countries in Africa.
Exactly. And that's a
Yeah.
misconception. Like a lot of us,
Hmm.
like I hear people all the time refer to Africa like it's one country. And they don't
Yeah.
realize it's an actual continent and there's like 60
Hmm.
countries, right?
And they totally different. They real different.
Wow. I'm in awe of your experience. Like you are,
Thank you.
I know that you are extremely unique for an African American to be as well traveled as you are. That's
Yeah, I'm
amazing.
thankful. I'm
And
thankful.
you certainly have a story to tell, and I'm excited that you're here. Let's learn a little bit more about your book. Why don't you tell people the title, where people can get the book? Tell us what inspired the book.
Okay, the name of the book is called The Afro Set. It was a Black Power organization established in the 1960s. So this was during the civil rights movement. Black people getting sprayed with water hose, bit by dogs, and all this stuff. So my uncle, he was the co-founder of the Afro Set. He came up with the name of the organization. So when they said
In
Afro, they
Cleveland?
didn't. Yeah, they from my family's from Huff. Yep, it started in Huff.
Wow. I never even knew about like because like unfortunately my family wasn't like revolutionary or anything. Not the
Mhm.
ones that I know of. So I didn't know
Okay.
that there was a revolutionary sect in Cleveland. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Oh, Cleveland was one of the most revolutionary cities in the country. A lot of things, a lot of rebellions and uprisings and shootouts with police and everything. And my uncle was at the forefront of that. So the Afro, that stood for African. People think of the hairstyle, but in the 1960s, because you would hear Malcolm, he'd say Afro. I mean, he didn't say African Americans, or Afro American Unity. So Afro was for African, and they introduced a lot of African culture to Huff and Cleveland because at that time they didn't have internet or even TV really hardly. Everybody didn't even have a TV, so accessing things about Africa and positive things was almost non-existent. So they had classes. They had classes on economics, classes on African language. They taught people Swahili. They did African drumming, African dances. They learned about religion. They learned about Black nationalism and self-defense. And they had shops. And what they would do as an organization, they would make dashikis, they would make dresses, they would make head wraps, earrings, necklaces. They would make pottery, teach the kids how to, put the pottery, mold it, put it in the oven, and they would sell these items and different things like that. So, and then they built a theater. They had a theater. My uncle was a poet, so they would do poetry readings, poetry workshops. They would do plays. They would model the African style garments. They would do musical performances, fashion shows. They had a drill team. So, but it was an organization, but it really was like a family because a lot of the people that joined, they were brothers and sisters, or mom and dad, or they was their aunts, and a lot of people met in the Afro set and they married and they started having kids and they was born into this organization. So they built a nursery, you know what I'm saying? So it was just a lot going on at that time.
That's amazing. It literally sounds like the Black Panthers. Like it sounds like a lot of what the Black Panthers did in terms of like educating the children, providing medical
hmm
care, like all of that. But it was called the
hmm
Afro Set. So that's what the book is about. You're telling the story of this revolutionary organization that your uncle
hmm
was the
Yeah.
head of. That's
Right.
amazing.
Yeah.
So you come from a revolutionary family in Cleveland, Ohio. How about that?
Yeah, definitely. And just to add on to what you were saying, yeah, they were influenced by the Panthers at that time. They came out around the same time, but it was a group called RAM that was co-founded by
I
Don
do.
Freeman.
The Revolutionary Action Movement. I do remember RAM.
Right, right. So Ram is before all of them. I mean, you had Garvey in the 20s and all that, but the radical Black nationalism that we see, with the militancy and the wearing all black and stuff like that, that started with Ram, which was co-founded by a Clevelander. And Ram was founded in 1962. So the importance of that is this group was founded while Malcolm X was still alive. So Ram and Don Freeman from Cleveland worked with Malcolm X, but the groups like
I
the
remember
Panthers,
because Malcolm X did his
yeah,
Ballad from the Bullet address in Cleveland.
right in
Was that
Glenville.
connected?
Yeah, all of that is in the book, and that's what I'm saying. So Cleveland was very important. So
Wow.
you know what I'm saying? That the Panthers got a lot of stuff from Cleveland. Stokely Carmichael, a lot of them guys was influenced by Don Freeman, and he's still alive. So I got to interview him and everything. So I just wanted to add that a lot of those groups came after Malcolm X, died. So that's an important thing for people to remember.
That's amazing. Thank you so much, everybody that's listening. Be sure to drop your questions and comments in the comment section. Make sure you like the video, share it. We're talking to brother Taye, right? Taye Uhuru.
Taye,
Uh,
Taye. That's
Taye.
my
Let me get
African
it
name.
right. That's right. Let me get it right. Let me get it right. The brother is explaining to us, his incubation from his family into African revolutionary understanding in politics. What's your thoughts on Pan-Africanism? I would love to hear it from your perspective, as well traveled as you are.
um, I don't know. I try to follow what Malcolm and what Marcus Garvey said. You know what I'm saying? It's not really complex. You know, I look at Black people all around the world. You know what I'm saying? So
That's right.
whether they're in
That's right.
Brazil, the Philippines, Dominican Republic, Mexico, India, you know, Africa, I look at Black people globally. You know what I'm saying?
That's Pan-Africanism. That's right. That's right. Um, the book itself, where can people find the book? Make sure you give them the title and where they can find the book. How much is it?
Okay, the book is called The Afro Set. The
Spell
price of
that
the book
out
is
for
20.
people.
Okay, the Afro, like the hairstyle, AFROSET. That's the name of the book, and you can get it online. I'm doing it independently, so you buy it from my website.
And what's
And
your website?
my website is Camp Cleveland, CampCleveland.org. So you can find the book there. You can find the tour, the information about the educational tours, and then I sell items like my uncle and them. You know what I'm saying? I sell Afrocentric items, beads, necklaces, shea butter, and all that good stuff.
That's amazing. And so you're able to ship those things online. Do you ever set up locally in Cleveland? If so, for people who may be listening from Cleveland or listening from Ohio, what neighborhoods do you normally work in?
Um, well, I'm in the seventh ward. That's where I've been at for the last couple years. But due to
Bashir Jones is your councilman?
yeah, shout out to Bashir, man. Salute to him. He doing a lot of good work out there. And I had got a permit for what do they call it? Like a table where you could set up on the street. I can't think of it. A vendor's license and a permit. You got to
Vendor's
go through all
license,
of this
yeah.
stuff.
Right, right,
Right, but
right.
I got the permit and everything, but you got to get permission from your councilman, and he gave me permission to do that. But due to COVID, you know, we didn't set up, and I co-founded the Little Africa Food Co-op, so we trying to open up an actual, you know, brick and mortar place where we can sell these things. But for right now, everything is just sold online. So I'll go
I
pick it up,
understand.
and then I'll bring it back and I'll ship it to you. And then I take special requests, like if people want, sometimes people want dresses, they want a certain size, they want a certain material, and you know, we can get it made straight in Africa.
Wow. This is amazing. You and I have been connected all these months, and I did not know all that about you. I would have been buying my dresses and stuff from you, especially since I know like you got to connect on the continent, right?
Oh
That's
yeah, for sure.
crazy.
Yeah.
What else do you feel like is really important that you would like for our audience to know about you, about your work, and certainly any other upcoming projects, right? Do you have any upcoming tours? I imagine that kind of stuff is like, iffy right now with all of this stuff with COVID. And I'm hearing things
Mhm.
about having to have a COVID vaccine passport. And I'm like, shit, I ain't never going nowhere then if they're going to do that. But tell us a little bit more about like where those things are in terms of like everything with the COVID restrictions. How are African countries handling that?
Well, I think one of the important things is, you know, thus far, Africa has not been as affected as a whole
Yeah,
as
that's a
places like
blessing.
Europe, you know, like places like Europe or America, you know what I'm saying? So some of the African countries never closed their borders and some are reopening their borders. So I have been able to travel back and forth, Dubai, Ethiopia, Egypt, you know, from South Africa or whatnot. So I did have a tour that was like 3 weeks ago. I was in Egypt, so it has slowed down significantly, but people are still inquiring. People are still making arrangements to travel. So as of right now, the only requirement is you have to have a negative COVID test, and you have to do that like 48 hours, 72 hours beforehand.
And I know some countries I've been hearing because I have a colleague. She's actually in Ghana right now, and
Okay.
I guess they also require another test when you get off the plane. And then some
Um.
countries are requiring that you like quarantine for like 7 days once. I mean, I can't imagine
Yeah.
how it is
I don't.
traveling
Each country
internationally.
is different. Each country, you know, they can make up their own rules, but I haven't experienced that. Like I said, I done been to about 3 or 4 different countries, you know, after the lockdown. So I haven't had those experiences. And only thing I can say is it's good for people to just do their research before they go, you know, before they try to travel outside of the country so they can know, you know, what to expect. Like you say, you may not have to do that in this country, but another country it may be totally different.
Right. So you do have an upcoming tour schedule?
Yeah, I got a couple people reaching out. But the tours are available all year round. If there's anybody that's watching and they want to set up a tour, I'm available. You can pick your own dates. You know, you can do a payment plan because some people like to plan in advance. They may say 2022, 2023, and that's fine. If somebody want to go next week, I'll be there.
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm definitely gonna probably have to get with you on the 2022. Probably.
Okay.
Just or like I said, it just depends. It's a lot of stuff is just really still up in the air. One more question that I just thought about, and I know like since you live, in certain places, you probably wouldn't mind like repatriating. As I mentioned at the start of the show, like I thought about you because of like Stevie Wonder was all in the news about like I'm
Yeah.
moving to Ghana. Like, what kind of shit is this? I don't want my what he say, I don't want my grandchildren and their children to still be begging people to love them for who they are. He was like, I want to move to Ghana. And so in that spirit, do you see or talk to like when you're in other countries, like other like African Americans, like who were born in the United States but have repatriated? And if so, like can you share about their experiences or your experiences even living
Oh,
abroad?
right. Definitely. That's the goal to live in Africa. But my thing was, like I say, it's 60 different countries in Africa. I want to see them all, or at least half of them, before I make my decision. I know a lot of people pick Ghana and a few other places. I know people that were from Cleveland and from America that have moved to places like Namibia, Senegal, Ghana, South Africa, and mostly all of them have had great experiences and they don't plan on coming back because some things is hard to explain. You have to experience it for yourself. So if you get on a plane, it's a black owned airline, black pilot, black flight attendants. You land at the airport, it's named after a black person. The baggage handler, the taxi driver, they're black. You go to the ATM, the people on the money black, the streets named after black people, the president, the mayor, the governor. So the racial oppression element is almost non-existent or removed. You know what I'm saying? So that's just something that even if you don't want to live there, you should experience it.
Yeah, that's amazing. What's your timeline? I know you said that's your ultimate goal is to eventually live
Yeah.
there. And what's if you feel like sharing, with folks, do you have like a timeline in which country you would like to live in?
Well, right now, if I had to pick one, I like Cape Verde. It's a low
Oh, tell me
population.
about that.
Right.
Yeah. Do they speak English?
Cape Verde, they speak Portuguese.
Ooh, so that there is a
Yeah.
huge language barrier with that. That's the other thing. Do
Well,
you use
uh-huh.
Google? What's this? Google Translate? What do you use when you over there? Because you
Right.
speak English, right? Like, do you speak other
I
languages?
A little bit. Like I said, I studied abroad in Dominican Republic, so I learned a little Spanish. I studied abroad in Brazil. I learned a little Portuguese. I'm studying a little French now, a little English, and I'm trying to get into the African languages as well. But a lot of Africans, they're they're not bilingual, they're multilingual, if that's the word. They speak two or three different
Two or
languages.
three?
So,
Yeah.
you rarely meet an African that just speak one language, you know what I'm saying? So I haven't had any problems. Plus Africans, they very friendly, you know what I'm saying? If they can't help you, they're gonna find somebody that can help you. They just not gonna be like, all right, man, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? They very
Wow.
friendly people. But Cape Verde is real cool. It's a low population, low cost of living, low crime, low violent crime, low mass shootings, low gun violence, and it's dozens of African countries that's like that are 2, 3 times safer than the United States, safer than some European countries. But that's something you would have to look up. The UN every year they publish a global peaceful index, and you can see which countries are the most peaceful and the most dangerous. The United States Department of Travel. If American gets killed in any country, they're going to keep a record of it. So if you have any fear of that, you can look at any specific country and see how many Americans died in that country, and a lot of them gonna say none or accident. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Wow. I'm sure you've been to Egypt. I know a lot of black people. That's all they do is tours to Egypt. What was your experience there?
Yeah. Oh, Egypt is real cool. It's amazing. I've been fortunate enough. I've been to Egypt at least 5 or 6 times. I've been from the top of the Nile all the way down. I've been to Nubia. Aswan, Abu Simbel, Luxor, Cairo, Giza, Memphis, Saqqara, Dahab. I've been all up and down through Egypt, and I never
That's
had no problems or no issues.
That's amazing. Uganda comes up. I have a friend of mine. He's been to Uganda several times, and one of the things that he said is just like you. Like he loved it. The people are friendly, but because of the poverty, specifically in Uganda, like you have to still be kind of careful as an American,
Hmm.
because like you can get like manipulated. And one of the things that he says that happens often is like your phone, like they'll steal your phone, and that happened to
Hmm.
him. And he was like, so that was a little bit of a hassle. And I guess they were on like mopeds. I guess that's what they ride on. And it's like they'll
Hmm.
drive right up to you and they'll get it, and it's like they gone. You know what I'm saying? And so that
Hmm.
happened. But I get it. That happens here. Like with poverty
Oh
and things.
yeah,
You know what
definitely.
I'm saying? So it's like the
Hmm.
same kind of conditions. Can kind of be the same thing, in some of these other countries. But I love the fact that, you're able to dispel the myths from a very firsthand experience, by visiting all of those countries and everything. So that's really, really dope. I have posted your link, your website, in the chat as well.
Thank you,
Camp
Queen. I
Cleveland.
appreciate you.
Yeah, campcleveland.com. Like you said, people can
No,
go and get
dot
the book.
org.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I did put. I don't know why I say
Oh,
.com,
okay.
and I actually did put the org, so I did it
Oh,
right.
okay.
So I apologize about that. I did. Matter of
No,
fact, let
that's
me just
okay.
show you. There you go. I put it there,
Thank you
where
so
people
much.
can
I
get it
appreciate you.
in the Afro Set book, as well. Are you working with young people? I feel like all of this knowledge that you have, like,
Mhm.
is there a group of like, say 13 to 18 year olds or however that you work with to immerse them in all of this knowledge, particularly centered on African centeredness? Have you been able to do that and expand the knowledge, to the younger generation in Cleveland?
Well, it's two things. I've been working with young people all around the world, you know what I'm saying, and definitely in
Amazing.
Cleveland for sure. So today, like I did a presentation. My cousin, she's a principal at a school, you know what I'm saying, a high school. So I got a chance to talk to. It was almost 100 kids on a Zoom call, and I'm telling them about global Black history. I'm telling them about my travels and how, that they can be anything that they want to be, even if they may come from poverty or they may live in the hood, just trying to motivate them and doing positive things like that. And when I lived in places like DR, I actually worked in an orphanage. Some of them kids, they was Black kids, you know what I'm saying? They didn't have a
Yeah.
mom, they didn't have a dad, they didn't have family.
Right.
So we would do tutoring, we would do English, math, and
Mhm.
a lot of creative arts. The same thing in Cape Verde. One of the educational tours that we do when we go to Cape Verde, we've been donating to a elementary school. We give them supplies. We were supposed to do a music studio for the recreation center there in 2020, but COVID happened. So yeah,
Wow.
I'm always working with the kids and giving back, definitely for the community globally. Period.
Right, right. That's amazing. Can you share? I don't know. Was it like a PowerPoint presentation? Because if you have it, you can share it. I don't know if you see the. Are you on a phone or a laptop?
I'm on the phone.
Oh, okay, yeah. So you probably can't share it from there. But yeah, if you was on a laptop, you probably could have shared like some of the pictures and things like that. That's amazing, man. Hats off to you. I'm
Yeah.
really proud of the work that you're doing. I'm excited, to continue to learn more, particularly about the travels. And I'll definitely be paying a visit to your website again, to
Thank
look
you.
at things. If you have any other books or things like that, feel free to reach out to me and let me know. But this has been a great conversation. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up?
No, I just want to thank you again, Queen. I truly, truly appreciate you. It's an honor, you know what I'm saying, to be on your platform.
I appreciate it. And definitely we'll probably have to have you come back, because I feel like, the people that's watching was like, man, I love to see some pictures, like pictures of
Oh
all these
yeah, I do that
African
all the
countries,
time. We can set
you
it up.
know. Yeah,
I
yeah.
got
So let's
videos.
let's
I got pictures of if you want to see the Valley of the Kings, you want to see the inside of a pyramid, you want to see the door of no return. A lot of those monuments, the African Renaissance monument, all of that stuff. I got massive footage of that. I got, man, yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah. You familiar with Tony Browder? Have you ever connected with him?
No, I know who he is. I don't know him personally. He's somebody I
Got it.
definitely respect and admire. And he does a lot of stuff out in Egypt, you know.
Exactly.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what made me think of it. That's what's
Hmm.
up. Well, thank you so much, brother Taye. Taye, right?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure I said it right. Thank you so much for coming on. Definitely want to encourage everybody that's watching. Go check out the brother's website. Um, Go check out the book Afro Set. In fact, I'll probably get on and order that pretty soon myself because I actually want to know about this revolutionary history in Cleveland. When I think about like the revolutionary, history that I'm familiar with, Ohio doesn't come to the top of the list at all, right?
Oh,
Like,
we at the
yeah,
top. I'm telling you. We like in the man, we at the top.
really?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
Wow.
Superior and Huff, man.
Wow. Yeah, my family lived off my grandmother's house was off of East 109th, off of
Oh,
St.
okay.
Clair.
Because back
And
then
that
we had to live in those areas. We didn't really, it's not like it is today where we could move into the suburbs and stuff. Redlining and white flight and all of that was going on simultaneously.
right, exactly. But that's good that you still in the community. Like you said, you're still in Ward 7 and everything. I got family literally all over Cleveland, suburbs,
Right,
in the
right.
city, like they everywhere. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, we definitely got to bring you back because I feel like it will be more engaging for the audience, like while we're talking, like them to be able to actually see the photos of all these different countries,
Okay.
that you've been to. So yeah, once you feel like you have some more material, like maybe put together like in a PowerPoint type of fashion that we can kind of
Mhm.
share, and you can just share your screen like when you're able to be like at a laptop instead of like on your phone or whatever. We'll definitely set that up. I definitely have to bring you back because I think this is,
Okay.
because for me, let me just, I'll be all the way 100. Like, I've been talking to my husband about this. I'm like, the United States, this empire is falling. Like you can see it's all over. You can tell, right?
Hmm.
And I've been thinking a lot about like repatriating myself, like in terms of what Stevie Wonder is talking about. I was thinking about that before he even like made his splash on Oprah last week, and like
Right.
literally strategizing about like which countries. Like one country that I thought about certainly was Tanzania because there's already a small little African American community over there. In fact, some of them are former Black Panthers that if they actually came back to the United States,
Right.
they would be arrested. So
Right. Right.
so yeah, that was one of the countries. Then of course Ghana, because I'm like they already speak English, look lazy. I'm
Hmm.
like I ain't got to learn another language,
Right.
so I'm like
Right.
there's not a language barrier there. So yeah, this is exciting. This is like you literally are living Pan-Africanism. A lot of people like talk about it, but like
Hmm.
you're living it, and that's amazing.
Thank you, Queen. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be connected to you. Any final words you'd like to share with the audience before we wrap up?
If anybody have any questions, feel free to message me. This is what I do. I love talking about Africa and Black history. I could talk about it all night. So if you have any questions, you need any information, please reach out to me. I got videos and pictures and everything.
And your social media handles, all of them are Camp Cleveland?
Yep.
Okay.
TikTok, Instagram, Facebook.
Okay. Camp Cleveland on I'm not on TikTok. My son is.
Mhm.
I feel like anyway.
Right. YouTube.
So yeah, YouTube. Okay. All right, bet. So yeah. Thanks everyone for coming and checking us out tonight. As always, like and share the video. We want to try to make sure that we bring good quality content to you all every week. See you all next week, Thursday at 8 p.m. Same place, same time. Take care, everybody.